Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of ArcGIS. And in this couple of lessons, I would like you to get familiar with more than a technique or a command in ArcGIS. I would like you to get an introduction into the way of thinking of a GIS analyst. And for this, I I have gathered a couple of information that I have worked before for a Mexican agency, and this is actual some real work I have done. I would like you to do it with me, so I can teach you a couple of things that I think are appropriate to mention and that are really basic when we're working with ArcGIS. So this is real work, and I would like you to get you into the mindset of a GIS analyst. So this is the final product. In this contamination agency have told me where is the appropriate place to measure the number of cars that go through a single street in order to know how much people is affected and to get really important data out of the city. So what we need to do is I will create a new ArcGIS, and in this I will load the I name this test because it's almost like a test, it's a way of gathering all of the comments, the information that we have acquired throughout this ArcGIS course. So let's add it. This is the information that they give me and the one that I have started working in it. So the first thing I did in order to calculate the optimum places to gather the information of number of cars is to get how much information we're receiving. So we have here the number of people attending schools, the number of people working at local shops, and the number of people going to work into hospitals. So we're gonna gather all of this information into one data set, and then we're gonna start working in it. So let me check something. Okay, what we need to do first is to join all of this information, to put all of these three into one category, into one only shape. So as you can see, we had a lot of information over here. I want to have a clean and depurated data set. So what we're going to do is start erasing some of these fields. We can do it confidently because I know that there gonna be no use of this information. So a quick way to do it is go on to data management tools and then clicking on fields, delete field, and we're gonna add this one. The only thing I want to keep is the number of people working at it. So in Spanish, it's personal, and is this one, this field. So as we can see, all of them has been erased. That's it. We have delayed those fields. We're gonna do the same at the local shops. Let's add it, select them all, and erase. Select them all and unerase this one. That's it. There we go. And let's do it for the last one. Let's select them all and unerase this one. Remember, it's personal. So let's click OK. And we'll be able to have a much depurated and much clean data set to work in, which is really important when we're working with a bunch of information and we don't really want to see them all. Now that we have done this, it's time that we merge them into one single single shape. Remember, we go to help processing and merge. One of the most important features and one of the most basic things that you always will be working in ArcGIS is the help processing bar. Is like the day-to-day. It's really useful and it's really handy when you want to make quick analysis. So let's put it in our test. In a test carpet, let's put datum. That's it. And click OK. So it's gonna generate a new data set that it's, as you can see, it had thrown us a warning. This warning means that the information hasn't been put into a one only set of files, you know. There are two fields, and if we want to join them, we need to bring it into Excel, get this table into Excel, and we're gonna do it more quickly and more easy over there. Excel is a way better program to work with big data sets. So let's click OK, and off we go. It's been converted. This differentiation of fields occurs when you have two different names for the fields. So it will be better if we have the same names, but at the final stage, you know, working with ArcGIS is about solving problems. So I want to give you an insight of how it we to work with different programs, with different problems, and try to teach you guys some tools to help you solve them. So we're gonna cut this over here and we're gonna put it into this. Another thing that you need to be able to do is to change the properties of the cells. Always, if you're working with numbers, make sure you're working with numbers over here. And if this cell is giving you an error, please check it, because the errors you have over here will be dragged into ArcGIS, where it is harder to solve them, and it is harder to work with this kind of numbers. So over here, we're gonna make a join out of the information that we just have corrected. So we're gonna drag the table that we have created over our test datum, and let's open it. So as we can see, we have the object ID, which will be the same in theory as the FID. So without any further complications, we can relate this datum table to the datum Excel. Remember, we go on to joins and add with the FID the datum, and we can validate the join. So this is kind of like a day-to-day work, you know. You need to have these kind of abilities really present when you're trying to work with ArcGIS. And this last couple of basic tutorials will be about that. The main problems that I have faced in these 5 years, and I want to guys to comprehend what it is about. So let's export this one so we can have a fresh start on of information, and put it db shapefile, and let's do OK. I want to export it. We can get rid of this one, and as always, let's try to have a really clean shapefile, you know. Let's select them all, and let's not erase this one. No, it's this one, and that's okay. Okay, so now we have a total amount of points that are around 5,000. And with this, we want to get to know which will be the point around the city to locate the measurement of cars, how much cars are going through these main streets. So these are the 10 main streets of the city. This one has been given to me, and they want to figure out where to measure the number of cars going through this one street that gives them the most information, the optimum point. So this can be achieved through these kind of programs. This is a real life problem, and it can be solved. Now we have the concentration of people working around the sun, and ArcGIS can give us an insight on where to locate them. So there is two ways of representing information through ArcGIS. I have taught you the vectorial one, the points, the polygons, and the lines. There is also another branch of information called raster. Raster is basically a grid of cells, each of them containing a set of variables organized in different ways. They can be thematic, let's say distribution of width around fields, or types of rocks, or they can be surface, which is continuum. They can give you elevation, they can give you temperature rates, and they come really handy. So this is kind of an introduction into raster, because it's a whole other way of working in ArcGIS, and it's a little bit more complicated. It's more usual to start with the vectorial one. So we will be going into spatial analysis tools and density, point density. We want to know which are the most dense points around the city, so we can start measuring the number of cars that will be going over there. So let's put PT, points, save. The output cell size, it's a variable that is predefined in ArcGIS, that it's predefined by the program according to your dataset. So let's leave it over there, and let's put a smaller radio. I like to start with a 30 kind of radio, 0.0030. It always have given me a good sample, and let's click OK. So we cannot see it yet, but it has been generated a heat map, a map of densities. We can drag it, this one. Let's make this one invisible, hollow, and another base map, hollow. So over here we can see that it's been created kind of a really indicative distribution of the density of our city. So I can tell to the agency, hey, around this street there is a really concentration of people, a really big concentration. It will be optimum to put a measurement of cars over here and around here as well. You can use this two intersection street to kill two birds with one stone. And finally, I want to give you kind of a conclusion about this one. ArcGIS is more than just commands and trim and to good. It's more like a really useful tool that can give you insights on where to solve and how to solve real life problems. So if you have any doubts around these last tutorials, please be sure to leave me a comment, and I will try to solve it for you. Tweak around this kind of information, play around with it, discover the best way of representation for your own needs and for your own expertise. So thanks a lot, and hope to see you soon. Goodbye.